Hey guys. So basically, here's the deal. Um, Next in the timeline is Four Swords, the original one for the Game Boy. Um, the original one is not single player. The DSiWare version that was put out a few years later is single player, and I did manage to get a ROM of that working, but for whatever reason, across multiple emulators, changing all the settings I know how to change, it just won't retain a save. It will say that it's saving, and then I will reboot the emulator, and it'll just be gone. Even if there are files present in the folder with the ROM, it just doesn't show up. Um, and this game takes like 3.5 hours to beat, and I'm not going to do it all in one sitting. Um, in terms of what else is going on, sorry, I'm still gathering my thoughts. I didn't write any of this down. I also tried save states, and it does successfully bring me back to the correct point in the game. But whenever I do that, I've only had one time where it didn't lag super, super bad and then lock up and make the game completely unplayable. So basically, Four Swords is not happening. Four Swords Adventures, later on in the timeline, maybe, we'll talk about it, because that's supposed to be single player, and we'll figure it out from there. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy. Um, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. But Four Swords is not happening, so I wanted to take the opportunity to at least make an entry for the timeline, explain what's going on, and I'm going to go read a synopsis of the game on the Zelda wiki, and I'll just upload that as the thing, and we will go from there. I'll also title this appropriately so that it's able to be read clearly that the game is not going to be happening this way, because I also don't have anyone to play with me on original hardware. I also managed to get the same Anniversary Edition running on my 3DS, and it does save well, but I tried a few different methods for getting that to work. I tried to network stream it to my computer, which was successful, but at absolute best, I was running at, I think, 8 frames a second, and that wasn't even playing a game. So, that's not going to work. And then I looked into ways that I could connect it up to an HDMI, but it doesn't output a video signal natively, so basically I'd have to get it modded and have a separate chip installed. And even if I had all the information I need to make that happen, a mod is like $80. And that's not a huge deal, but I've had this 3DS since I think 2014, and I really don't want to risk anything happening to it in the mail or during the modding process. So I'm not going to be taking that option more than likely either. Maybe at some point in the future, but we'll see. So I'm going to go read this synopsis, and we'll go from there. And, we'll figure it out as we go. But we probably just won't be playing Four Swords. I will see if I can find a good playthrough somewhere else on YouTube and give a link to whoever's playthrough I end up picking, just so you guys get the chance to watch it if you want to. It's really more of an arcade-style thing. I hear that Adventures has more of an actual linear story that you can follow, even in a single-player mode. So we'll get to that whenever we're capable of playing that and recording at the same time. I gotta actually do some testing. But this is the plan for now. So let's go read that synopsis, and we will go from there. According to Zelda.fandom.com, long ago in the kingdom of Hyrule, there appeared a wind sorcerer named Vati. Vati could bend the wind to his will and used his awful power to terrorize many villages of Hyrule. In his assaults on the villages, Vati would kidnap any beautiful girls who caught his fancy. Many knights from the castle and other brave men set out to subdue the sorcerer and rescue the girls, but each one fell in turn to Vati's awesome power. Just as the people had begun to lose hope, a lone young boy traveling with little but a sword at his side appeared. When this boy heard what was happening, he said only, "I will defeat this sorcerer." He boldly entered Vati's palace, mystically trapped the evil sorcerer inside the blade of his sword, and returned the young girls to their villages. The boy then went deep into the forest and disappeared. The villagers asked the girls how a boy so young could have saved them all and defeated the sorcerer when no one else could. The young girls told a story of how, with just a wave of his sword, the boy's body shattered into 4 pieces. each of which then formed a complete copy of the boy. These 4 young boys then worked together to defeat the sorcerer. The people did not believe this story, but they called it the Four-Sword nonetheless. As rumors of the blade's power to divide a person into 4 entities spread, the people built a shrine to protect it. Princess Zelda of the land of Hyrule was a beautiful young girl born with mysterious power to sense approaching forces of evil. For this reason, she was assigned with the sacred duty of protecting the shrine of the Four-Sword and the blade itself. One day, Zelda was in Hyrule Castle when she sensed that something unusual was occurring at the Four-Sword Shrine. She asked a young boy named Link, whom she trusted above anyone else, to accompany her to investigate the happenings at the shrine. As they approached the shrine to check on the seal, suddenly a dark figure grabbed Princess Zelda. The seal on Vati had weakened over time, and Vati managed to break out of his prison within the Four-Sword. Having still no memory of his time as a Picori or the power of the Light Force, Vati did not recognize the princess and saw only a fair maiden. He decided she was to become his bride to commemorate his return, and took off with her to his palace. After being instructed by fairies, Link takes the Four-Sword from its pedestal and is split into 4, as the legend foretold. The great fairies could not help Link get to the Palace of Winds, but not until he proved himself courageous enough. After traveling over 3 different lands and the dungeons they contained, Link and his 3 other selves confronted the Wind Mage in the Palace of Winds, the seat of Vati's power. After an arduous battle between the sorcerer and the heroes, Link was able to reseal Vati into the Four-Sword blade. So that's where we're at. I will get this all appropriately edited and put up just as soon as I finish processing the Minish Cap, which is now done. I'm just processing it so that I can get it uploaded. Yeah, and that's what we got. Sorry that I couldn't make it work. It's just not within my current capabilities. But if I find a way to get it done, I will get it done. But literally, my only remaining options are to play the game all in one sitting, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage, or literally play on my 3DS and just point a camera at the 3DS and record it that way. And that's really not my preferred method. If you guys want it bad enough, then maybe I'll do that. But as of now, this video is the plan. So I hope that doesn't upset anybody. And I hope you guys are willing to bear with me in the current circumstance. And thank you for your patience. Next will be Ocarina of Time, I believe. And I plan on doing the most updated version of each game that I can. So we're probably going to try for Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS. But we will see how it goes. We might end up playing the N64 version. I got to do some testing and figure out what works best for my setup. Because I really don't want to wait for whenever I finish building this new PC for as long as I can. But, you know, sometimes that's just your option. So I'll figure it out and I'll get back to you guys. Thanks.